Hello everybody again. As soon as I get off of here, we get another warning up, so let's get that information up right now. Okay, so everybody listen, I'm sure you can hear the weather radio, but we will go back over this again. National Weather Service has issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. Northern Marshall County in northeastern Alabama, west central Jackson County in northeast Alabama, Madison County in north central Alabama, southern Limestone County in north central Alabama, Morgan County in north central Alabama, eastern Lawrence County in northwestern Alabama. Until 7:15 p.m., Doppler radar was indicating a line of severe thunderstorms located near Tanner or 7 miles northeast of Decatur. Activity is moving northeast at 30 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Areas impacted: Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Athens, Hartselle, Redstone, Arsenal, Moores Mill, Meridianville, Priceville, and Trinity. So let's get right back where we was at again. And that's going to be due to this line of storms right here over Decatur and over kind of north of Moores Mill, west of Madison. All that's kind of moving to the northeast. So they've got to track it coming through Marshall County. They're kind of the northwestern portions of Marshall County, possibly around the Grant, Union Grove area. But it's not there yet. It's still off to the west. So you guys have got probably about a 30-something minute lead time, or warning lead time there on that. Do have some more shout-outs to give. We'll get to those here in just a few moments after we do get the coverage here of this severe thunderstorm warning storm. So let's look at the chat. Okay, we're up. Okay. Okay, we have a new sponsor, Mr. Dylan Snyder, Realtor. He sent us $50 for sponsorship. Thank you so much, Mr. Dylan. I will have to write that information down, and you will have to get with me with your business information. I'll be glad to show that at the beginning of our videos there. $50 for sponsorship. Thanks so much, Dylan Snyder. Connie Cook sent $25. Thank you so much for that. So really appreciate everybody, and for some reason I don't think it's showing everybody. But yeah, maybe it'll get us that together shortly. But thanks so much again, Dylan Snyder. I believe he's a realtor. Dylan Snyder, realtor. Yeah, he is a realtor. So really appreciate you guys. I'll get with you and get your information after we get done with this warning here. So thanks so much for sponsoring. Appreciate it. That is just absolutely great. We are officially up to $245, so we are so close to making it. Let's get back to it here, tracking some of those thunderstorms across the area. And that was not the right one. Okay, so yeah, we do have some damage and wind gusts associated with some of these right on top of Decatur. I know we're kind of far out, so the radar's not really beaming, in as close as it could be, but looks like there could be some hail associated in those cells as well. Okay, so yeah, the one to the west of Moores Mill, there's some small hail in there, probably about, it says quarter size according to Doppler radar. So let me take another look here. And also there is torrential rainfall occurring with these storms as well. So let me go ahead and bring that back up here. So yeah, the cell right now that really has got my attention the most, let me zoom and get it back up here, would be this one here, just in between Moores Mill and Madison. That one there looks more intense than the rest, and that one will be, there's severe thunderstorm, for this little line here, severe thunderstorm warning. Rather, with that line there. So yeah, I see a pretty good pocket of damaging winds there, right in between Moores Mill and Madison County. Just to the east of Moores Mill, looks like it's going toward Madison County. It actually is going toward Madison County there, kind of northeasterly. So areas impacted by this area of damaging winds. You see those brighter colors showing up there. That's an indication of some damaging winds there. That's moving toward, looks like Madison, kind of to the northeast. Yeah, right toward Madison, possibly the Redstone Arsenal area as well. And of course, we usually don't cover storms this far out, but the reason we're covering them is because it includes the northwest portion of Marshall County. Let's get that information back up here. So, quarter size hail possible with that. So again, that is going to be for northern Marshall County and northeast Alabama and west central Jackson County. And that's another reason we're live in northeast Alabama. Of course, Madison County, southern Limestone, Morgan County, and eastern Lawrence County. So that's why we're covering right now. So these storms are capable of producing damaging winds and, of course, some large hail as well. Okay, so we do have a little pocket here that's showing me some signs of some gusty winds. They don't look damaging at the moment, but they do look intense. It's going to be just to the southwest of Paint Rock, even, into the Paint Rock area. You're getting some gusty winds there in Jackson County. And other than that, the little cell there doesn't, it doesn't look too bad. It does have some high winds in it. I can tell by the coloring. But the more intense one I'm looking at is still in between Moores Mill and Madison County. It's not really, that little area there is not really moving a lot. So I'm noticing a wind shift. Looking at the radar here, there is, I don't know that I'd really call that rotation, but there is definitely, there is some weak stuff in there. As far as that cell there goes, there is some weak stuff because there's two cells colliding together here, so they've got, the winds are going different directions in these cells as they're colliding. So they do have some broad rotation in there. Nothing immediately looks, like anything touching down, but it does have some broad stuff around Mooresville. I apologize, not Moores Mill, but Mooresville. That's still continuing to move on off to the northeast there, so looks like it's getting a little bit closer to Madison there. Okay, so we definitely have some, some broad stuff. But at the moment, I'm not all that concerned about it, considering where it's at. Definitely seeing some hail in there, that's for sure. Okay, that last scan there doesn't look as bad as the other one. So you just have to watch these scans to see what they do. Sometimes they'll show something that's not exactly correct, and you just have to wait on them. So we do still have two broad areas, really broad areas there. Nothing showing signs of actually trying to, wrap up or anything at the moment, but I definitely see some high winds there. Still going toward Madison. It's not moving very fast, but it's still moving toward Madison. Looks like it will affect Madison County. Some higher winds there, possibly 50 to 60 miles per hour. So we won't focus so much on that one. We'll take a look at these here. I'm also seeing some gusty winds there, probably 50 to 60 miles per hour maybe. close to Paint Rock there. That little cell's just kind of hanging out there. It's just now getting south of Gurley, but there's some additional development behind it. So this one I'm noticing kind of a strange little behavior from this cell here. I'm going to be watching it for just a few minutes there. Alright, let's look at chat, make sure everybody's able to see what I'm seeing. Looks good. Okay, so Jimmy's in Union Grove near Arab. I believe Arab's pretty far south of that. Okay, I'm going to have to use translation on this here. I can't understand. I don't even think it'll let me translate it, and it won't while I'm live on Facebook. If anybody understand what Jay is saying there, I believe he's speaking in Spanish. I'm not really sure. I can't really understand what he's saying. I wish I did. I know I see the word tornado in there. But yes, hopefully to answer your question, there is a, don't know if that's what you're asking, but I'm going to tell you anyway. There is a severe thunderstorm warning out that's going to be northern Marshall County and west central Jackson County and northeastern Alabama. And that is until, I believe, 7:15. Yeah, until 7:15. We got some severe thunderstorms out there. Could produce some gusty to damaging winds. But not seeing anything tornado yet. And hopefully, it should stay that way, but I'm still paying attention to this area here that is in between Moores Mill and Madison. Still got some weak stuff here, very broad. But I'm not too concerned with that area. I'm more concerned with tornado-wise, I don't think that threat is, of course, it's very low, probably 1%, maybe even, 1% is as low as you can go. Other than that is, usually with these summertime storms, you just don't see tornadoes with them, but that don't mean they can't produce tornadoes, because they definitely can. We've seen it happen, a few times, but usually summertime thunderstorms with this type of setup produce torrential downpours, large hail, and damage and straight line winds. That's usually what you got to watch for with these kind of cells here. While they may not be, tornado producers, they have a habit of producing some destructive straight line winds. Especially these being outflow dominant today. These storms are producing a lot of outflow. They can put down, a microburst and produce winds of 80 miles per hour or higher. 70 to 80 miles per hour with higher than that. It wouldn't be uncalled for, so those straight line winds can actually do more damage than a small tornado, or a tornado rather. So it doesn't always have to be tornadic to produce a lot of damage. These storms can produce microbursts unexpectedly, and they do a lot of damage most of the time when they do produce a microburst. So, and usually they're hard to warn on because you never know when it's going to happen. It just kind of happens suddenly. So activity now, the strongest of the activity that I'm seeing is currently moving toward Huntsville. So we're still watching these until 7:15. Jackson County right now, the stuff in Jackson County is right on top of Paint Rock. So if you're in the Paint Rock area, Woodville area, kind of keep an eye on things. That's where this cell here is. There could be some damaging winds associated with that, but the more intense line is further to the west. Now, as far as it goes, looks like northwestern Marshall County is under a warning as well. Right now, all that activity is going to stay north of you if you're in Marshall County. But we're going to keep watching to see if any additional development happens, or if this cell here decides to go a bit further south, which is, you know, kind of being pulled north. So we're going to watch this cell here. Because usually when they start getting this feature, that feature there, I pay a bit more attention to them when they start to get that feature there, kind of hanging out, behind the cell, or southwestern portions of the cell. That would be where you would, the southwest portion of the cell would be, or you would have, a tornado or something. If one was to develop, you'd have a wall cloud there on the southwest portion of it. So that's why I'm kind of watching this area here, and they usually look pretty strange. They kind of just hang out by themselves usually. Not all the time. I've seen them, embedded in the storm itself, and it was not hanging out like that. But in most cases, it kind of gives you a heads up. But right now, I believe that's more of an inflow little tail showing up right there. Taking a look at chat really quick. Brenda, where are you located at? Just curious. I wouldn't exactly say go to the shelter unless you're in a mobile home. If you're in a mobile home, depending on where you're at, yeah, it'd probably be a good idea to go to a shelter. Our mobile home's held up 60 mile per hour winds, 70, around, I think 75 is as high as this one's held up. That's all it's been in. So, I wouldn't want to be in a mobile home with 70 mile an hour winds, but we have been in this one at 70, and it was scary. So, it was really scary. 70 mile per hour winds in a mobile home. 60 is scary. 70 is terrifying. Valley Head, no. You are well away from any of this activity. Yeah, you're in DeKalb County and Valley Head. This is no threat to you at all at this time. This is all further to the west. Now, if you was around Woodville or, Paint Rock, where this is kind of hanging out at, I'd say, well, you might want to watch that. But no. You're perfectly fine at the moment where you're at. So, yeah, please like, share our content. Help us get the word out about this, because Facebook is limiting us, so there's not a lot of people getting notified unless you're on YouTube. There's not many people getting notified that I'm even live right now, so they don't even know, which is just pathetic on Facebook's point of view. But what are you going to do? Argue with a robot? It's not going to get you nowhere. Better watch what I say. They're going to end up blocking me, so I better watch it. So yeah, everything's still looking pretty good at the moment. Again, I'm still sticking to what I was saying about northwestern portions of Marshall County, anywhere from Grant to Union Grove. Everything is still staying north of you. And Jackson County, you poor guys around Paint Rock and Gurley, y'all have just had a lot of heavy rain, and it's just kind of hanging out. Still hanging out. Woodville, you're probably going to get some of this shortly, because it's building kind of south, a little bit further south. It's trying to follow what is left of this gust front, and there's not a lot left of it, but that right there is the gust front. You can see it kind of fill out a bit more as it's going towards Section and Dutton. You start to see a little bit more of that gust front, but we do have an additional thunderstorm development or shower development on top of Scottsboro right now behind this. But other than that, there's just not a lot. But some really nasty stuff going into Madison County right now and heading toward Huntsville. There's going to be some hail, damaging winds potentially with that stuff. It's going to be, torrential downpours as well with that. So newest update come out at 6:27. Severe thunderstorm warning, of course, still in effect. Was located near Tanner, or 7 miles northeast of Decatur, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Areas impacted: Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Athens, Hartselle, Redstone Arsenal, Moores Mill, Meridianville, Priceville, and Trinity. So if you're in those areas, be paying attention, because there's some nasty stuff coming your way. And there is, some torrential downpours, hail, damaging winds, gusty to damaging winds, all possible with this activity here. But as far as northwest Marshall County goes, if you're in that area, and I'm going to circle it, the warning box does cover or go into Union Grove, also Grant. I may have cut it a little bit short, and I did. That was terrible. But anyway, if you're in that area there, everything is north of you and northwest of you. Now, there's a possibility there could be some more, develop on the southwestern portion down here that could become severe. But right now, we're looking at everything northwest and north of you. So right now, at the moment, nothing immediately hazardous around the Grant or Union Grove area. Even though you're in the warning area, you're in that warning area because they're uncertain if there's any new development going to develop to the southwest or which way these storms are going to go. So it's kind of uncertain. That's why you got such a big box. They're just making sure, they're being precautious with it. And that's good, good to be, cautious when it comes to this stuff. So getting reported some flooding, which that's not surprised at all. Let's look at the accumulation. My gosh, what has happened to people? Sorry, I was listening to the scanner there. People just went nuts these days. Alright, so yeah, good bit of rainfall there. Doppler radar indicating, I'm going to say it's about 3 inches there of rainfall possible. So yeah, where that report's at, nearly 4 inches of rain with this cell. Look at that. 5 inches almost up here. So these things are producing a massive amount of rainfall. Definitely could add, to the flooding situation, which we did expect to have some heavy thunderstorms come through between now, Monday, and Tuesday that could cause some flooding. So we're really going to be watching Monday and Tuesday as well as today too, because we've got some really heavy thunderstorms dumping a lot of rainfall out there. Of course, this is Doppler radar indicated. This is not measured, by any means, but by the report we have by one of our storm spotters there, that's going to be pretty validated there. Let's see what spotter we have here. He reported flooding. And why is he not showing up? Jennifer Nicole there reported that at 6:50, and she's done moved well to the northeast there. So yeah, there's some flooding along that. That's one of our spotters. Actually, rather the National Weather Service Huntsville Skywarn spotter anyway, same as I am, reporting that. So great to see the reports coming out still. So be careful. Lots of flooding with that stuff. Anywhere from Moores Mill northeast toward Madison County. This cell is now approaching Redstone Arsenal. So if you're in Redstone Arsenal, be ready for some hail, some damaging winds, and torrential downpours. It's also approaching Huntsville. So also, get ready for that. Madison County, you're already getting a ton of rainfall out of this thing. So lots of rainfall with that. Still tracking over here in Jackson County, this little cell that's still hanging out over Paint Rock. It's finally moving southeast a bit. So Woodville, you might get some of this rainfall eventually. So we'll see if you do. Looks like it's kind of trying to move southeast. My radar track is incorrect. It's actually trying to move that direction a bit. Let me adjust a little bit more. Yeah, that's a little bit more accurate there at the direction it's trying to go. So, yeah, trying to move to the southeast a bit. Let's take a look at our boundary map really quick. See if that front has moved at all. And looking at it, it doesn't look like it has. But we do have some flash flood warnings due to this stuff here. but that's going to be well away from us. That's going to be up north of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Some flash flooding going on there, but we're still under that severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. The storm is still intense, but it doesn't look as intense as it was. But it's still got some embedded hail and lots of lightning with it. So our newest update was still at 6:27, so there has not been a new update since then. The warning looks like it's going to continue until 7:15. Okay, so now we're getting some new development there. Just to the northwest of Woodville, I'm seeing a little bit of hail associated with that cell there. Still a big pocket of wind. Like, it's really windy. If you're in Paint Rock, if you're in Woodville, even as close as Owens Crossroads or New Hope, I mean, you're probably getting some breezy conditions there out of that. Doppler radar indicating now, this is not, measured or anything. This is just kind of Doppler radar indicated type deal. 20 to 30, maybe 40 mile per hour winds with that cell, with those storms there. Now, looking at this one here, it's approaching Redstone Arsenal, and this thing is just not moving much. We got some 38 miles per hour, but you see, again, this little tool is very helpful, but it's not always accurate to the point. Huntsville is able to look at a 3D print of the storm, a literal 3D print. They can look at any level of the storm, and they can, see, if the damaging winds are up high, like if you're looking really high into the storm and you got 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, well, those, they're not making it to the ground, they're up high. Scan on down a little bit into different sections of the storm, and they can tell, well, hey, it looks like this storm here is capable of producing 60, 70 mile an hour winds, so warning needs to go up. So they're able to look at different levels of the storm versus me. I can only look at, I can't look 3D into the storm like they can. So they see stuff I'm not able to see, but most of the time I can still pinpoint it when there's something out there that's warned, needs to be warned up. I can most of the time pinpoint it with about 99% accuracy. So seeing a little bit of a wind spike there south of Madison. So some decent winds right in there, possibly damaging winds with that. Still making sure that nothing has changed. So yeah, just a rainy mess. Just a big old line of storms there. Slowly progressing east. Marshall County, haven't forgot about y'all. I am still watching. And Jackson County, definitely haven't forgot about y'all there in the southwestern part, around Gurley, Paint Rock, Woodville area. And it does look like Woodville, you will be possibly getting some hail out of this. Possibility. It looks like it's a little bit north of you, that little bitty spot there where there's some heavier precipitation falling. But as far as Marshall County goes, still looking good. I'm going to move back and take a look at the chat here. Thanks so much, Melissa. I really appreciate that. I'm looking back at the comments now. Okay, making sure I answered everybody there. We got 25 viewers. Usually we have hundreds. This just goes to show what these platforms do, and I don't know why they do it. Why they won't let you disagree, which they most of the time will let me disagree with the decision, but this time they wouldn't. There was no option to disagree with it at all, and I'm seeing a lot of meteorologists, a lot of weather pages posting up the same thing where they're getting restricted and they do not offer them any way to object to it. Basically, it's, hey, it's what we say. If you don't like it, oh well. And then it affects everybody else because they're not able to see our streams anymore, so maybe one day they'll get it together. Mike, hello. Hope you're well. But my best recommendation again is YouTube. Everybody that I know has said they've got notified each time I was live. If they've hit that notification bell icon, they've subscribed, they've liked our channel, they are getting notified every time when I go live. So if you have not liked our page or our stream, on YouTube, I highly recommend you do that, or you're not going to get notified more than likely. So the little cell here near Paint Rock and Woodville, it's falling apart, still producing a lot of rainfall. But overall, it's weakening on out, which is great news. And still some high winds south of Madison, approaching Redstone Arsenal right now. So you guys get ready for some high winds as well. So we are still so close to the amount needed to get the drone. It's unreal. I think like if we had another, let's see. Yeah, I think if we had like another $50, I think it would do it. So close, but if not, hey, I'm appreciative of everything that I've got. So if I don't get another penny, I am very happy, and I'm appreciative of everybody. So let's see, it's 7 o'clock. Let's see if we've got an update. Okay, so this warning should be wrapping up here pretty shortly. Okay, so I'm noticing a shift in the direction of these storms now. So the storms that were moving due northeast, they're now building a bit further south than what they was. As you can see, if you look at my little arrow here that's terribly drawn, you can see those cells kind of building down south a little bit more. So if that continues, they do continue to build south. Marshall County, the northwestern tip there of Marshall County, could end up getting some of these storms here. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if that happens. And we do, it looks like we're getting some additional development behind that, but I'm not sure that this cell is going to be able to go south due to the direction of the wind. But we'll see. As you can tell, our energy is coming out of our southwest. And looking at my radar anemometer, we got some south to southwesterly winds anywhere from 2 to 3 to 5 miles per hour. So basically, there's your wind direction right there out of the southwest, pushing everything northeast. But that doesn't mean we won't get some additional development. It's always possible. Anyone have a clue how to maybe put translation on? Like if someone, let's say, speaks a different language. I hope I did not just turn my live stream off. Okay, let's nope, I didn't. I'm not sure that I could translate anything. Let me try this. Okay, so we're still watching that cell there. I'm going to continue to watch them until the warning is canceled, which is not too much longer. We don't have much longer at all, and that warning will be allowed to expire. We'll be keeping an eye on any more that may develop. Okay, I have got a sticker officially. Absolutely love this guy, Dylan. He is awesome. So, like, literally, and I'm not saying that because I'm not just saying that because he donated me $50. I'm saying it because I know him pretty well personally, and he is a great person. So if if I was gonna get into real estate, he would be the one I contacted. So let me get that information up really quick, as I promised. Okay, so we did just get an update, it looks like. Let me go ahead. Okay. Shannon, it's not showing up on Facebook anymore. Let me make sure they didn't kick me out of Facebook. I mean, you never know. Let me go make sure they haven't kicked me off Facebook here. It's still showing up. I don't know what's going on, what's going on with it, but my page is still up. You can send a donation by Dekalbcwx on Cash App. That's pretty much the only way I have receiving anything at the moment. I got to get this up really quick. Okay. So let me add our sponsor really quick. Let me get that up. Okay, so our sponsor for today's video is going to be Northeast Alabama Dylan Snyder Realtor. He's going to be our sponsor. Give him a call, if you want. He sells properties, homes, all that good stuff. Dylan Snyder is his name. Give him a call. Tell him we sent you over there, 256-979-4330. Or you can contact him at Dylan Snyder at kw.com or dylansnyder.kw.com. Again, that's going to be KW, Northeast Alabama, Dylan Snyder Realtor. Go check them guys out. Okay, thank you so much again for sponsoring the video there, Dylan. We appreciate you. Shannon, my page isn't restricted. It's public. I can't restrict anybody. I can block people from the page, but I can't restrict, who sees it, and, without blocking them, of course. But still, newest update on this. The National Weather Service has took a good bit of Marshall County out of that threat of severe thunderstorms with this cell. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 7:15. This update was just out like moments ago, 7:04. At 7:03 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over northern Huntsville. It's moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Radar continues to indicate the probability of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Locations impacted include Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Athens, Hartselle, Redstone Arsenal, Moores Mill, Priceville, Trinity, and Owens Crossroads. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. There's also torrential rainfall occurring with this storm, and it may lead to flash flooding, so do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. That's what we've got right now. That was just a little while ago, about 3 or 4 minutes ago. So we're still watching this activity here in Jackson County too, so don't think I forgot about you guys there. Still nothing significant. Woodville, you're finally getting the rain from that storm. You are outside of that warning box. So the only area we do have in the coverage area, in our coverage area, would be the far northwestern tip of Marshall County that is in that warning. And I really don't think it's going to make it that far. I mean, I really don't. It's moving northeast, so you know, kind of north-northeast according to this track here, and I do agree with that. So yeah, depending on how far south that comes, I'm going to retract my statement there, because it does look like it's still trying to go further south. And if it does, it is a good possibility that the far northwest tip of Marshall could get some of that. So we're going to hang out a little bit, kind of hang on to our thoughts on that until we see what it'll do before we call it quits. So Shannon Chastain, just curious. Let me ask this here. So you look my page up and it does not exist. I'm trying to find a way that we can resolve this. You could go to, and I usually don't give my personal profile information out, you know, which I don't mind. I just usually don't give it out. So, but in this case, I'm going to give it out because you're wanting to watch my page. You can't find it, all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my personal page. That way you can contact me on Messenger on my personal page, and we can figure out why you can't see my page at all, which is really, really weird. It seems like you're not the only one that's told me that my page has disappeared for them ever since I've been restricted. So that is a little bit odd. So I would say I'd share it on my page, and you know, you could look at it that way, but like you said, you can't find my page, so we're going to have to do it this way then. So let me get this up.
Stand down on the coverage and hold at station 3.
Okay, bear with me. I'm about to go back to my page really quick and grab this information. Mike, you can see my page. It's just certain people that can't see it. Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like Facebook, who knows? So let's get back to that. I should be able to grab my picture. Okay, let me save it, and then I'll erase it off my page. That way everybody's not wondering what in the world's going on. Okay, so let me grab it and put it up here on the live stream here. Okay, we'll just leave it like that for now. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so it may take a little while for me to get back to you, but there's my personal Facebook. There's my beautiful lady, and there's me. There's my name and everything. There's my personal Facebook, so you can go check it out. Send me a message. That's the only way I'm gonna get hold of you is if you send me a message. Again, there's my personal profile. Go look me up. Witten Chris is my profile name, and we'll figure out why you can't see it. So. Yeah, that is weird. I'm about to go through the verification process and have my page verified through Meta because I've had a lot of people tell me that when you get it Meta verified, they back off a bit with the restrictions. They kind of back off. After you verify yourself, I don't know what all you got to do to verify it, but according to some of my friends, it's not hard to do, and it don't cost nothing. Depending on how you do it, it don't cost nothing. So I'm like, hey, when I get time, I'm going to do it. That way you'll see a blue check mark, and you will know I am, my page is what it says it is, all that good stuff. Meta knows that, I'm not out, just putting a bunch of nonsense out. That's kind of what the deal is they don't know that you're legit, and they're like, well, hey, you're probably just putting a bunch of nonsense out there. So they like to restrict everything you do. So we'll work on getting that fixed as soon as I can. Hopefully tonight, maybe. But right now, only activity I'm seeing, DeKalb County, you're fine. Nothing going on at all. Jackson County, scattered showers across the area there with our main cells still hanging out around Triana and Huntsville and Redstone Arsenal area and Priceville. So now I am seeing a bit more of a southerly development with this these cells here. So northwest portion of Marshall County. Let me see if I can get some names up here, if it'll even show any. Like, it absolutely shows no cities or anything over here in the northwest portion. All it shows is county roads, so that's kind of sad. That's not very helpful. But I'll go ahead and circle it because my radars are not showing anything. Like, it looks just like this. Let's see what we got. New one in here. So we got a new one. Northwest Marshall County, as we was just discussing. Southwestern Madison County. Southeastern Limestone. Morgan County. So yeah, now northwest portion of Marshall going. It is building a bit further south, as we was just discussing. So let's get this information up. So now it has tracked a bit further south than what was first thinking. So severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Marshall County and northeastern Alabama. Areas impacted would be Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Hartselle, Arab, Redstone Arsenal, Priceville, Owens Crossroads, Falkville, and Triana. 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-size hail. And yes, that alert I've got up there is super loud. Like, if you're asleep, you can forget it. You ain't going to be asleep. You're going to think war's going on. So yeah, new area of concern there. Union Grove, Arab areas, northwestern portions of Marshall County. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds possible and some nickel-size hail with that cell there. Now that is due to a further south trend than what it was first doing. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Hello, Shannon. Hope you're well. Oh, just saw you say, hey, thanks. Sorry about that. Hey, Mike, you being a firefighter and all, could you do me a favor and see if you can, I mean, you might know Spanish. I don't know. Does anybody understand Spanish? And they could help me translate what Mr. J is saying. Because I can't understand it. I can't understand. I'm pretty sure I see electricity in there and all that, but I can't understand it. So if I could get some help, I'd really appreciate it. If anybody knows Spanish that could read that and tell me what he's saying, I'll be happy to answer it. I know he's been sending messages on here, and I'm just like, I'm trying not to ignore, but I can't understand quite. So still we're tracking this thunderstorm coming out of Triana right now, tracking to the southeast. It's doing more of a southeasterly movement now, so it looks like it will and could pose a threat to Marshall County around Union Grove, Arab area. So yeah, we're starting to see a bit of a, I guess you'd call that like an inflow tail, where the it's pulling in the moisture and the warm air and all that. We have winds out of the south-southwest, so you know it's just pretty much feeding up into that storm there, and it's just feeding off of that. So we're going to keep an eye on it now. You know, as right in here especially, I'm going to keep an eye on that area too. Going to be watching that area right there on the back side of that, just to make sure nothing unusual starts to happen there. And so far, you know, nothing unusual is happening, so hopefully it keeps that away. I just don't, you know, I usually don't like when I start to see the knot show up on the backside there. Okay. Okay, so we got winds feeding in, of course, to the backside there, which is what I'm watching. This is pretty much what it means. Green means winds going toward, and the red is away. So we've got winds, you know, pretty much doing like this. So that's something I'm gonna keep an eye on that area there, to see if anything does try to, you know, happen. Okay, so we got some damage and wind reports just now. 1-inch tree limbs broken, shingles blown off. So getting some damage and wind reports with this as well. That was just put out at 7:19. Seeing a well-defined looking bow going on with this cell now. So definitely bowing out there, showing signs of damaging winds. And I can now confirm for sure, if you're in the northwestern portions of Marshall County, western there around Union Grove, Arab, more or less toward Union Grove at the moment, but Arab, you're still in that warning area. I usually don't cover areas out of Marshall County, but in this case I will. Owens Crossroads, New Hope. You got some destructive winds coming your way, easily 60 miles per hour. I'm starting to really see that bow out, and it's really showing signs of intensification. So let's take a look at the damage and winds here. It still looks pretty good on the storm relative velocity there. Okay, Birmingham is way far south. Still not seeing what I like on the radar, even though it looks so well defined on the reflectivity. Looking at it through the tools, it just doesn't make sense. So if we're seeing an area here that's really bowing out past the rest, you know, of the storm here, some damaging winds easily up to 60 miles per hour now heading toward the far northwestern tip of Marshall County here. I'm not sure who lives in here because it does not give me any information on it. Let me go ahead and pass this along because I'm pretty sure in the warning it'll tell me. Northwestern Marshall County is under that warning. So that's for northwestern Marshall County. It's located over Marshall Space Flight Center, or over Redstone Arsenal. It's moving east at 20 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and nickel size hail. Areas impacted in Marshall County would be, looks like it says Arab and, let me get the other one up here. Okay, let's just go through the whole list. Locations impacted: Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Hartselle, Arab, Redstone Arsenal, Priceville, Owens Crossroads, Falkville, and Triana. So that's the whole list of areas listed on that warning there. I don't know what in the world I got going on there. Okay, so Some very heavy rainfall with that thing too. So yeah, still seeing that front part bow out, and that is going to be due to these winds rushing in to the back side here, and it's kind of forcing that line to bow out. So the winds are advancing ahead of the line there with that. And you know, usually if you know an area like on the back side here, that would be where I would be watching for a tornado. If one developed, would be right in there on that far southwest portion of that cell there. So if I had the drone right now, I could probably be getting some amazing shots of this storm right now and posting them up very nicely. I could easily see that far with it. Of course, we only are allowed to go 400 feet with it, or actually you need to stay below 400 feet. So I had mine set so it stays it stops at about 310 feet. So that's where I got it set. That's as high as it would go. Of course, that drone was well capable of going probably 2,000 feet, but that's way over regulation. You're not allowed to fly anything that high. 400 feet is the max in the United States to fly a drone. So yeah, you're not allowed to go any higher than that. But hey, I mean, who needs to go that high? At 300 or 400 feet, you can see everywhere. Like, my goodness, I couldn't imagine flying a drone that high up. I don't even know how you could see it at that high up. Okay, so I'm just now seeing people's comments. Oh, Lord, Mike. All right. Well, I mean, I have my problems with English, too, so I got you. No, Mike, Taco Bell don't help me at all. Thanks for trying, though. It's better than what I thought. Sharon's watching from Sylvania. Stevenson see any of these storms? Well, if you're in Stevenson, let's have a look. I'm just, like I said, I'm moving back and forth from the chat to the radar, so I'm not able to see everybody's comments until I move right back to it here. Stevenson, you're out of it right now. I mean, you're good in Stevenson right now. Everything's west of you. But yeah, this cell here is showing me signs that it, you know, is producing some damaging winds. It's by far a classic signature of, you know, something that's going to be producing 70, 80 mile an hour winds. It definitely doesn't look like anything like that, but it is showing me some signs that it's well capable of producing some 60 mile per hour winds, 50 plus to 60 miles per hour. You know, very well possible out of this little line here. It's a nice little bow echo showing up on here, and it is moving southeast, kind of east southeasterly. I did not mean to do that over there. Tell you what, after looking at this radar so long, it makes your head hurt, so you just have to kind of look away every now and then. So still no indications at the moment of any, you know, tight rotation, nothing like that, which is, you know, pretty well expected out of summertime storms. But what I do see is the threat of some damaging winds, some damaging straight line winds rather, which is intense. They can do damage. And that's going to be approaching northwestern portions of Marshall County. The area I'm most concerned with it would be near Union Grove and just to the north of Union Grove. So if it's not telling me any information on cities or roads or anything north of Union Grove, I looked at it on a secondary map too, and it still didn't give me much information other than the county roads there. and this cell is approaching. Looks like, let me back out and make sure that I'm telling you correctly. Okay, so yes, this cell is getting very close. If you know where this is at, it's just outside of Marshall County, but it's called Clean Fuels 25 and 231 that goes southeast into County Road 240, which runs into the far northwest portion of Marshall County. Mount Olive Cemetery, I'm seeing those names pop up now. Never seen them pop up. But if you are east of Mount Olive Cemetery or near, let me get that back up, 231 and Clean Fuels 25, Rescue Cemetery and Mount Olive Cemetery. If you're around them areas, or if you're near Short Cemetery, I just seen that pop up. That's the first time I've seen that pop up. Far northwest portion of Marshall County, I'll circle it. These areas here, you're in the path to get some 50 to 60 mile per hour winds if it doesn't change direction again, because it kind of looks like it is trying to move further northeast now instead of the southerly trend that it was taking. So if you're in that area, pay attention. It's not too far away from you. You could get some of those damaging winds, but now looking like it's headed very close to Owens Crossroads, like it's headed right toward Owens Crossroads, and the possibly the New Hope area there. But Marshall, northwest portion of Marshall County, around Union Grove, or to the north of that, and the areas that I just announced, you have the best bet of seeing damaging winds there, and it's getting really close to you too. So, but it does look a little bit more unorganized, but I could still see the storms jetting ahead of the line. So that area there, you can have some destructive winds right in there, and that's getting very close to northwest Marshall County. And we do have reports of damage up here from these storms that I just noticed. Homes and buildings completely destroyed. That was at 7:30. That was only a minute ago. I hope that's not. I hope somebody accidentally clicked the wrong button, because that's a live report there, indicating homes and buildings completely destroyed. I mean, do I doubt that the damaging winds could do that? No, I don't doubt that at all. But it doesn't really add up with this report right next to it, which is only 1 inch tree limbs broken and shingles blown off. But either way, there could potentially be some damage up there. I mean, I'm not going to call it out and say there's not. South of Madison there, we've got some pretty good indications there. There was some damage. We got 2 reports there. One of them was homes and buildings completely destroyed. Of course, that was, by the terms of the app, but still, that's telling me there's damage there. So anywhere in those areas, southeast of Madison and southwest of Redstone Arsenal, getting reports of wind damage there. Now, how bad? Don't know. It sounds like there is some homes that's got some damage there, but who knows until we start actually getting the verified reports in, because people misuse the app all the time, and they'll put some of the craziest stuff out there just to get you all tore up, and then it didn't even do nothing but rain. So, not saying that's the case. Not saying that's what happened. There's very possibility there was some damage there, because this line did move on through there. So very good possibility that there could be some homes with some damage. Won't rule that out at all. So I'm still watching it, moving closer to northwest Marshall County. So you guys be getting ready for some destructive winds potentially over there, especially if those 2 reports are right, which I don't believe somebody would make it up, but I have seen it happen a few times. So thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Even though we have such a low number of people get notified, but it's better than none. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm looking back at the scan here, And there was some broad rotation right in this area. I just saw it on the first, second, and third scan there where those reports are at. There was some very broad rotation, very, very brief. Let's take a look and see if I can see anything on the correlation scan here. I do see a lot of noise on there, but I don't see nothing that says debris. So that's going to be interesting to find out. You know, I think, I believe these reports are 100% legit here. There was some very high winds right there. That could have been a microburst or anything right in there. That almost reminds me of a microburst. So those reports are, you know, I'm 99% sure those reports are legit. That there is some kind of damage right in there due to the storm when it moved through, because I'm seeing indications on the radar. There was some very high winds there. And I believe that's going to be due to straight line winds. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're not paying attention, even just take your eyes off for a minute, and that can happen. So there's more than likely is some damage up there to the south of Madison due to those high winds that came through. So I'm going to warn again, you guys have got just a little bit longer until these potential destructive winds are on top of you here. Looking like the main area is now getting closer, where the highest of the winds are now approaching the northwest portion of Marshall County, probably a few miles away from it. Again, areas impacted: Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Hartselle, Arab, Redstone Arsenal, Priceville, Owens Crossroads, Falkville, and Triana. So if you're in Arab, if you're in Union Grove, you know, go ahead and be prepared for some destructive winds potentially coming your way pretty shortly. And the cell is about 9 or 10 miles northwest, maybe a little further. We'll stand it just a little bit further out. Yeah, it's about 12 miles northwest of Union Grove. And it is getting really close to the Marshall County line. Like, it's only like 4 or 5 miles out. So it's coming on in there. So is anyone, maybe, you know, those of you that follows James Spann, have you seen him post anything regarding around that area there, Madison County, maybe a bit south, or maybe the Weather Service? You know, maybe you follow them. Have they posted anything? Because I follow all of them just about, but I don't get notifications while I'm live when it comes to that type of thing. So I'm interested to know if there was damage there. You know, of course, I don't believe the report's lying. After looking at the radar. So I'm actually going to go over to in the background here and go to Huntsville and see what they're saying here. Yeah, we have had several systems collide. That is the newest information that was given out by Huntsville, and that's what I was referring to. Several areas that have storms that have collided over in north central Alabama, resulted in a number of smaller severe thunderstorms, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and hail up to 1 inch in diameter. But other than that, I'm not seeing any reports of damage yet, or you know, anything confirmed at the moment. I'm sure we'll find out later on. But once again, if you have not liked, subscribed, and I see NinjaBug94 has subscribed, thank you so much. This chat has actually started working, believe it or not. My mini feed has actually started working. So thank you so much for subscribing to YouTube. Bob35986 has subscribed. Thanks so much for subscribing. Whoa, I've got a lot of subscribers. Thank you so much, guys, that subscribe to my YouTube. Appreciate it. Thanks for those of you that's been patient with me here. I know it's boring. You know, I'm trying not to fall asleep over here myself, but as you know, I haven't slept good in probably over 2 weeks. I only get maybe 4 hours of sleep every night. I stay up just about all night long, can't go to sleep, so I get it. Just bear with me though. We, got to do this because these storms can and do produce damage, obviously, but not seeing it quite as strong as it was. That is some good news. I don't believe that this warning will be in effect much longer if this cell continues to be unorganized as it is right now. But as of right now, the warning is still up, but it is extremely unorganized at this point. Looks nothing like it did in the past scans earlier. So hopefully this thing will go ahead and fall apart, and we can say, hey, no more threat of damage and winds, just some gusty winds, and everybody can go on about their night. As we're at 7:40 and we've been live here for an hour and 11 minutes. It feels a lot longer than that. Sam the Tornado Tracker, thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Scene, I had Red Robin for dinner. I don't think I've ever had Red Robin for dinner. I've heard of it. Red Robin, yum. Yep, I remember it. It just came to me. Oh, man, I ain't never going to get that out of my head now. Was it really yum, though, Scene? Was it really? Was it good? I might have to try it sometime. Oh man, I had it on the right tool there, but I changed it. So still looking at some gusty winds with it. Could be some severe wind gust in there, or damaging wind gust. But other than that, just a really slow moving storm. Like, my goodness. The storm is not tornado warned. It is just severe thunderstorm warning. What's it like in Alabama? Well, it's a pain in the rear end, just to be honest with you. When it comes to tracking storms, forecasting, when it comes to any of that, it's a pain in the rear end. The storms do what they want to do when they want to do it. Basically, that's just the way it is here. They do what they want to do when they want to do it, not when we predict them to do it. I mean, sometimes the predictions are correct. Ain't gonna lie. A lot of the times they're correct. But most of the time, the storms just do whatever they want to do. Like, if they want to go severe on a day that we're not expecting any severe weather, the models are not showing really any severe weather, that's when they do. They just decide to do what they want to do. So I've had one tornado touchdown on a mobile home park. I think it was last year or the year before. There was absolutely no threat of tornadoes here. Like absolutely none. The parameters or nothing showed any threat of a tornado here. And guess what? A tornado touched down briefly on the trailer park and flipped a few mobile homes. So, and I mean, all you can say is, unbelievable. I was actually tracking that storm. It was warning on it about the threat of a tornado possibly. And, because it showed some good signs of rotation. And I absolutely felt crazy, talking about it. Because you're talking about a tornado potentially touching down. And there's hardly any threat of a tornado here. I mean, literally so low that the meteorologists are even saying, hey, there's no threat of a tornado today. Damaging winds, yeah. Hail, yeah. Tornado, not going to happen. It'd be really rare if it did. Well, that really rare happened. So, yeah. It's just the weather is crazy up here in the mountains. That's all you can say. These storms, as soon as you don't think they're going to do anything, and that's when they decide to do it. Right as you take your eye off of them. So, still, though, let's get back to the radar. Still, again, seeing some signs of damaging winds with this. It is trying to kind of ramp back up just a little bit. And it is now moving into Marshall County. So here on the next scans that we see, it will be moving into Marshall County. But yeah, I have been in weather, and I've been a certified spotter since 2006, and I have been doing weather ever since, ever since I was old enough to pretty much talk. I loved weather. So yeah, I've been doing weather a long time. I've been doing radar a long time. So we got a nice little bow echo showing up here.
646, case number 32091. 32091. Time of call 1849.
Thousand in Valley Head.
So I believe, unfortunately, this storm here is about to start bowing out big time, and it's going to be producing some damaging winds. We've got that inflow coming back up into this backside here, which is pushing that further ahead of the line there, which is now about to enter into Marshall County there, which is going to be north of Union Grove. I don't know of any cities or towns or anything right in there, but if you do know your area and you're on, you're looking at the map, if you know this area right here, you need to be ready for these destructive winds to get in your area. The southerly winds, the southerly inflow there that's pushing that cell northeast is now pushing it back northeast again. Looks like it's headed right for New Hope, Owens Crossroads area. That's the two areas that I'm concerned with now, but of course it is going to impact the far northwest tip of Marshall County there. And I wish I could give some names out of areas that's right in there, but my radars don't show it. I've got one that does, but it does not load up at all, and it crashes everything every time I load it up, so I don't use it. But I could tell you now, the damaging winds are now on top of 231. I'm trying to get some other information loaded up here if it will load. It's approaching right on top of the areas that I was just talking about. They finally loaded up. Clean Fuels 25 there on 231. I imagine that, of course, a fuel station. Those damaging winds are about to be right on top of you there on 231. Rescue Cemetery, if you're in that area, the damaging winds are about to be on top of you as well. If you're near Poly Cemetery, which is further northeast, you've got damaging winds about to be on top of you if you're near that area, as well as Black Cemetery. I'm seeing lots of cemeteries show up here, but that's it. Nothing else is showing up. So Union Grove Cemetery, the damaging winds are on top of you right now, as well as Hill Cemetery, New Canaan Cemetery. I don't know why cemeteries are showing up. That's it. But yeah, if you're in them areas there on 231, coming from the north to the southeast, it's also approaching 231 and County Road 240, going southeast. So if you're in them areas there, this cell is like right on top of you just about. So yeah, it's really intensifying again, as I was just thinking that it probably would, is that those systems there, the inflow started pushing back into it again. So it's producing some hail around Owens Crossroads. If this holds on, you'll be getting some hail here shortly, along with some damaging winds, and the same thing for the far northwest tip of Marshall County. I didn't really think it would make it all the way south to Arab. I've been thinking that the whole time, but I held my peace because you don't know until it gets closer. You don't know what it's going to do. So I kind of held that out. So yeah, if you're in them areas, you're getting impacted right now. It's moving in right now as we speak. So Owens Crossroads, hang on, it's going to be pretty rough. New Hope, it's going to be pretty rough there as well in the far northwest portion of Marshall County, north of Union Grove. That area there is it's getting pretty rough right now. So I do see a little bit of a weakening trend there on the far southern part of that cell there. So on this part here, I see a little bit of a weakening sign going up, showing up here, and right up through here, man, it's just rough. But yeah, still big flock of wind there coming through. You're probably getting it now if you're in that area. Let's see, velocity. I'm already on velocity. Or, nope, I'm on storm relative velocity. Okay, move it back. And move this back. There we go. I get these two confused sometimes. So this is going until 8 p.m. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 8 p.m. for northwestern Marshall County, northwestern tip there, Marshall County, southwestern Madison, and southeast Morgan counties. At 7:41 p.m., just a few minutes ago, update. A severe thunderstorm was located near Morgan City, or 7 miles southeast of Redstone Arsenal. It's moving east at 15 miles per hour. Still, Doppler radar indicating 60 mile per hour wind gusts potentially, and nickel-size hail along with that. So keep that in mind. Areas impacted: Huntsville, Madison, Arab. Don't see it making as far south as Arab. I'm going to be honest, unless things change. It's not going that far south yet. But I have to read it out anyway. Arab, pay attention just in case it does build further south unexpectedly. I don't think it will, but just in case it does, kind of pay attention to the weather situation if you're in Arab. Looks like it's north of you right now. Redstone Arsenal, Owens Crossroads, Triana, Marshall Space Flight Center, Morgan City, University of Alabama, and Huntsville, and Summerville. So that's what we've got right now. Yeah, they have just pulled Arab out of it. So if you're in Arab, they have just moved that box north of you. As I was just saying, I didn't think it would make it that far south. So no, they're now thinking the same thing. It ain't going to make it that far south. So northwestern Marshall County is just to the northwest of Union Grove. If you're in Union Grove, you're really close to it. But as of this moment, at 7:51, it's not that far south yet. It's not making it your way just yet. If you're in Owens Crossroads and New Hope, you guys have got a few more minutes, and it's about to be on top of you. So it is headed right towards you guys. So we'll see what the newest radar scans show, and we'll go from there. But Union Grove, you are still in that warning box. I am using Streamlabs. It's what a lot of gamers use. I'm using Streamlabs, and I'm paying for monthly subscriptions that allows me to stream on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and whatever else at the same time. And it's like $20 a month. It's not that bad. It's worth it. But I'm telling you, it's probably one of the most difficult things that you will ever figure out. It took me almost a month to figure out how to use this thing, but once I got everything in line the way I wanted it, you have to, set it up yourself. Everything, every slide, you have to set it up yourself. So it took me a while, to set it all up, but it was worth it. Once I figured it out, it was worth it. You have to put the radar on there yourself. You have to put, let's say you've got a mesonet, a anemometer station. You have to put that in there yourself. You have to put a little thing in there for it. Your start stream, you have to put a little thing in there for it. You have to do everything. Every slide is different. Like my end stream, I'm just going to do this really quick for instance. Like my end stream there, it's a different slide. Of course, close it, back out, radar comes back up. It's very complicated. Very. Well, it was nice talking to you, Sam. Appreciate you following. Go like my page. I'd appreciate it. If you hadn't already, go like me on Facebook. You've already, I'm pretty sure, subscribed to YouTube there. Appreciate it, and it was nice talking with you. I'm also a ham radio operator, so if you hear a radio in the background, that's what all that's about. But right now, nothing in our area to get on the radio with. But there is some talk going on in the background here. All right, I think everybody's already went to sleep. Like literally on this storm here, it's took so long. I think everybody's like, you know what? If it comes through, it comes through. I'm going to bed. I can't say I blame you. This thing has took forever. But it is once again weakening. Maybe this time, fingers crossed, it continues to do so, and we can get the warning out of here, and I can go back in the living room, or actually in the kitchen, and grab some supper because I have not ate. We've been continuously live here for almost 2 hours, so. So appreciate everybody that has hung on, and I was waiting for that to go up. And it finally did. So we do have a flash flood warning now in effect. And I mean, really been sitting here waiting for that to happen. Flash flood warning now in effect for southeastern Limestone County in north central Alabama, west central Madison County in north central Alabama, northwestern Morgan County in north central Alabama until 9:45 p.m. 7:53 p.m. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms producing very heavy rain across the warned area. Between 2 and 3 inches of rain have fallen, so these are measured amounts have been reported in. 2 to 3 inches of rain have fallen, and additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly, so areas impacted by that would be Huntsville, Decatur, Madison, Redstone Arsenal, Priceville, Triana, Huntsville International Airport, Marshall Space Flight Center, University of Alabama, and Huntsville, Mooresville, and Belle Mina. So lots of heavy rainfall with these storms moving through the area. So flash flood warning has been issued out for those areas. So this warning should cancel pretty shortly. I am seeing some signs of some outflow ahead of this thing. So yes, this thing is becoming outflow dominant. Looks like there is a bit of an outflow developing ahead of that thing. So this could kick more thunderstorms off if it does continue the trend that it's doing right now. So I've never seen the storms in a stealth fighter position before, but this is literally looks like a stealth fighter coming through. Like, just look at that. That is crazy. Alright everybody, well I am going to leave the radar up and briefly step back. Got to take a break here for just a moment. Not going to leave you hanging though. I'll put some music on, that way it's not completely boring until I get back. So thanks again, I will be right back and we'll continue our coverage here. Okay, back. Had to take a quick break there, but we'll continue our coverage of the severe thunderstorm warning that is for northwest Marshall County. And moving close to Jackson County there, so let's continue it. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, which it should be canceling here right now at 8 p.m. A new one is possible. It's possible there could be a new one go out, but you should see that warning dropping any second now. The National Weather Service has canceled that warning for that storm there. So let's get that information up.
Through 8:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 7:57 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm near Owens Crossroads, or 9 miles southeast of Redstone Arsenal, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Hazard, wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Source, radar indicated. Impact, gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects. Locations impacted include Southern Huntsville, Guntersville, Redstone Arsenal, Owens Crossroads, Grant, Woodville, Triana, Morgan City, Somerville, and Paint Rock. If outdoors, consider seeking shelter inside a building. Torrential rainfall is also occurring with this storm and may lead to localized flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. The severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Marshall, southwestern Madison, and southeastern Morgan counties will expire at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The storm which prompted the warning has weakened below severe limits and no longer poses an immediate threat to life or property. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, gusty winds and heavy rain are still possible with this thunderstorm.
Okay, so the warning has been canceled as of 8 o'clock. There's still the threats of some gusty winds with this stuff right here. Some 40 mile per hour wind gusts possible with this cell as it's coming across. It has weakened down below severe limits. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Areas impacted: Southern Huntsville, Guntersville, Redstone Arsenal, Owens Crossroads, Grant, Woodville, Triana, Morgan City, Somerville, and Paint Rock. So if you're in them areas, expect some heavy rainfall, gusty winds, all that possible from that storm, but the severe thunderstorm warning was allowed to expire on that. So thankfully, I'm glad that it has expired. So that being said, going to get ready to wrap it up here. Got a few things to do, get supper ready, all that good stuff. So going to back up, and of course if a warning goes up, we will be jumping right back on again. Hopefully a warning don't come as quick as it did a minute ago. As soon as I clicked off, I had to click back on. So thanks again. God bless. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll be keeping an eye on the weather here. Make sure you like to subscribe. Again, thanks so much. And again, thank you so much, KW Northwest Alabama Dylan Snyder Realtor, for supporting us and sponsoring us. You can give Dylan Snyder a call for your realtor needs. If you want to buy a home or something, recommend giving him a call. He's a great guy, very nice guy. Now, personally, know him a good bit. We've talked a lot, so great guy. Give him a call if you want any of that information or any more information. Tell him the DeKalb County Severe Weather Team sent you there. You can call him at 256-979-4330, or you can email him at dylonsnyder@kw.com. Also, dylonsnyder.kw.com. I believe that's probably his webpage there. Go check him out. Thanks again so much for sponsoring again, Dylan. Great to see you, and great to see everybody. Thanks so much, everybody. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. We will also try to have a forecast update, providing we can get a break from the storms. We'll try to do a forecast update at 9 o'clock, so we'll try to get that up. Thanks again. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody.